It's time for Around the Ozarks News, brought to you by the Springfield-Greene County Park Board, Roto-Rooter Plumbing and Drain Service, Blue Current, and Thompson Sales. Here are your hosts, Ethan and Sarah Foreheads.
Good morning on Monday. Here we are, starting a new week. Hope you're ready to go. I said last week it's going to be a good week. It ended up being a good week.
So say it again.
I'm feeling the same about this week.
Let it be. Let it be.
We'll see how it goes.
All right, here's some news for you. It looks like there might be a development at the corner of Sunshine and National after all. As you know, that piece of land right there across from Mercy Hospital has been highly contentious. A developer has wanted to put a development there for a while now with a food hall, pickleball courts, some other entertaining things, but it has been denied by planning and zoning due to some old deed restrictions there. It was brought up by neighbors in the University Heights historic neighborhood, but now a judge has ruled in favor of the developers, saying that the deed restrictions have been waived by, quote, widespread and continuous failure to enforce the old covenants. In other words, the judge said even the plaintiffs themselves have broken their own rules, their own deed restrictions. Yeah. So because it's been around for so long, like hundreds of years, so things have changed since that time that they have like gone back on that don't follow those old deed restrictions. So again, the judge says it's a go if they want to do it. So we don't have any official word yet from developers, but it is likely that they will be moving forward with their plans.
That's interesting. So basically he's saying you can't selectively enforce. Either you enforce none of them or you enforce all of them. You can't pick and choose. Interesting. This case.
If only I were a better reporter, I would have written it like that, because you just summarized it very perfectly and concisely.
Well,
yes.
Thank you.
There cannot be
selective enforcement.
Selective enforcement. Thank you, sir.
Well, you know what? I used to make a living out of doing that. And now I make a part of a living doing it.
Right. Exactly.
That has been such an interesting case to watch because it goes back and forth. One side is up and feeling good, and the other side is way down, and then the tables turn, and this is one of those tables turning type of deals. So still don't know what's going to happen. We'll be watching to find out. That's a big corner in Springfield, as everybody knows. Boy, this is an unbelievable story. I don't know if you heard about this, but there's a woman who's been wrongly imprisoned in the state of Missouri for the last 43 years. 43 years in prison.
Can you even imagine that?
No. She's about to be free.
Older than me. That's my whole life. And
that's your whole life in prison for something you didn't do.
Yeah.
It's hard to imagine, really. Sandra Hemming was convicted of first-degree murder. Now authorities say she never did it and was grotesquely coerced in the interrogations. Wow. Sandra was mentally disturbed at the time of this crime. She had been highly medicated and started hearing voices in her head when she was just 12 years old. And then this twist, which doesn't make it any better. Turns out a police officer actually committed the murder more than 43 years ago. And there's evidence that ties him directly to the crime. So, Wow, I can imagine that's going to be something we're going to be watching on Netflix because that is shocking.
It is shocking, and I'm sure that it will be on Netflix. And speaking of, Ethan and I recently watched a Netflix show about this couple that was made out to kind of be crazy. They said that, these people came into our home overnight and they kidnapped us. And it was a wild story, but it was actually true.
Well, don't, spoiler alert. It's called American Nightmare if you haven't seen it, but it's a 3-part docuseries about these crimes and what all happened. And it is really a twisted story. It's similar to what we're seeing here.
Yeah. But here's what I wanted to say about it is that I never would have believed that someone could have really been grotesquely coerced until this woman in Missouri, who's been wrongly imprisoned, was mentally disturbed. That's like a huge part of the story because it's obviously going to be easier to be coerced if you're not with it mentally. But this couple both of them were sharp as a tack. And so watching them get coerced, and I'm not saying that always happens, like, God bless our police and interrogators, but in that case too, I actually was like, wow, these are people who have zero previous criminal history, zero mental health challenges. They're highly functional adults. But as you saw them questioning the male, you saw them like break him down to this point where he's like, yeah, maybe I am crazy. Maybe it didn't happen. I mean, even though he didn't really believe that, like he almost like said that out loud. And then it took like a very keen detective saying, wait a minute, and kind of like pieced it together, long after the fact. And I won't spoil it for you, but it's wild. It's wild. And you need to watch it. There's some language. Don't watch it with the kids, but, and just the topic is not kid friendly, obviously, but for you adults out there, it's pretty interesting.
Well, this is an amazing story. It happened in Missouri. So I'm sure the news will try to track her.
Yeah.
Try to track her down and talk with her when she gets out. I also don't know if they've decided she didn't do it. Why isn't she out of jail like right now?
It's a 30-day. So they have up to 30 days.
They could continue to hold her for 29 more days.
Well, at the most, but I highly doubt that it's going to be that long. But there's a process, there's a procedure. And also, I don't know where she's at in her mental faculties today, but that matters.
I was thinking about that. That may be the biggest issue is she's been in prison. Who's going to take care of her now? And all of that. So, yeah.
Wild. Okay. Citizens Commission is looking at a sales tax measure that could be on the November ballot. We shall see, but it is where a portion of the tax would stick around forever. The other portion of the tax would sunset after a certain time period. So what the Citizens Commission is proposing is that a 4th cent of the tax would be earmarked for public safety initiatives and the city of Springfield's obligations to the police and fire pension fund. And then the remaining 0.5 cent of this tax would be for projects and programs that are identified through public input. So anyway, come early July, like by July 2nd, we're going to find out if that new tax structure will indeed be on the November ballot.
Okay. It's not uncommon if you drive around the city or anywhere around the state of Missouri to find temporary license tags that are expired. People talk about those all the time, especially my friends in St. Louis. They talk about it all the time. Well, now there's a 0 interest loan program in the city of St. Louis only to help cut down on the problem. For people who make less than $80,000 for a family of 4, they can apply for a 0 interest loan to help them pay the taxes and get their permanent tags for their car, because you know how that's expensive in Missouri. You buy a car and then you're like, oh, I got to pay an extra $2,000 to get it licensed and tagged. So it catches people by surprise. They don't have the money. They don't pay it. So they drive on expired tags. That loan money comes from a pool. It's not all that much, so it won't go all that far. $315,000 out of the Department of Public Safety's budget in the St. Louis area, which taxpayers help pay. St. Louis is hoping it will cut down on the temporary tag expiration date problem that they have in the city.
It's interesting.
Yeah. We'll see if it works. The Ozarks Lunkers are now 1-1 on the young season. I think this was week 3. The new Arena League football team lost their second game to the Duluth Harbor Monsters. They sound intimidating. It was a good game, though, I'm told. The Lunkers rallied to tie the game 38-38, very late in the game. But then Duluth scored the deciding touchdown with only 8 seconds left on the clock. So I'm sure it was a raucous crowd over there on the Ozark Empire Fairgrounds rooting on the Lunkers, but they couldn't pull it out.
It's too bad. I was hoping.
And then there's this. The St. Louis Cardinals are improving. I think they're, back to 500, maybe one game above now?
Don't ask me. I don't know. You're the fan. You're the super fan.
Well, it's been a rough couple of years. Anyway, St. Louis Cardinals catcher Wilson Contreras could be coming to Springfield for a rehab assignment. He's been out since the first week of May when he was hit by a swing that broke his forearm. Then he had surgery the next day. He's been recovering since then. Tomorrow, Contreras will likely start a minor league rehab assignment somewhere, could end up playing in Springfield, as he gets back into playing shape. So stay tuned. We'll let you know.
Okay. Well, happy 249th birthday to Fort Leonard Wood. There was a special celebration on Friday to mark the Army's 249th birthday at Fort Leonard Wood. The U.S. Army was established on June 14th, 1775. Wow.
That's cool.
In the present day, just so you know, the Army has 450,000 active duty service members. The National Guard has 300,000 and 175,000 reservists. And the Army is the largest of the 6 U.S. military branches.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yep.
God bless him.
Isn't that amazing? I know. God bless him indeed. 249 years. All right. Well, this is super fun. In Springfield this weekend, there was a big cat show, if you will, at University Plaza called the Show Me Cat Fanciers Association. Isn't that funny?
That sounds right.
It was their Cats in Bloom Midwest Regional Spectacular. Had I known it was going on beforehand, we might have popped in just to see it live in person. 172 cats and their owners competed. They were here from all over. They had costumes, agility contest, and much more. This is the first time in more than a decade, apparently, that this type of cat competition has been held in the city of Springfield.
I would have liked to have seen the agility portion because, you can train dogs. Maybe you can train cats.
Yeah, cats are hard to train. I would have loved to. That's a feat. That is quite a skill.
Well, I don't know how they do it, but dogs, you train the dog to run the obstacle course and you give them a treat afterward and they love it. Cats, I can't see doing that. So
I don't know how they do it either. That's why
maybe
I would have liked to pop in.
Maybe I'll look it up on YouTube and find out what a cat agility contest looks like.
Okay, well, keep us posted. Juneteenth is a Wednesday, and in Springfield, it'll be marked at Jordan Valley Park during a 12-hour event, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. at the fountain. There will be dancing and speeches, as well as food trucks and more. Juneteenth, by the way, is now a federal holiday, marking the end of slavery in these United States. Coming up on Wednesday.
Yep.
Okay, and then we're going to end with this. Around the Ozarks, the law firm of Webster and Carlton, Brightspeed Fiber, and the Auto Parlor have your chance to win a pair of tickets to the Rolling Stones on July 21st at Thunder Ridge Nature Arena. Ethan?
That's all right. You just go ahead and choke and I'll finish this out.
It feels like I swallowed pollen somehow, even though I'm indoors.
All right. You good or you need me to do this?
Go ahead, sir.
All right. Each week, all you have to do is listen to 104.7 The Cave for the keyword to enter for your chance to win tickets to the Stones. This is a big deal. The Stones, what did I decide? They're the greatest rock band of all time, right? Yes,
yeah, I mean that's
what I decided.
By your calculation.
You can
that is
you can enter at aroundtheozarks.com as well. So enter the contest at aroundtheozarks.com or listen to 104.7 The Cave, where you hear some Stones tunes from time to time for the keyword to enter for your chance to win Stones tickets.
Yep,
the contest will last until 7/19. So
basically a month. You got
about a month from now. Yeah, and we want to make sure that you have the opportunity to win those Stones tickets if you are at all a Stones fan, because just to stay in your lifetime.
Even if you're not, you might want to go for history's sake.
Yeah, you just want to say you've seen them. I've seen the Stones. I've seen Elvis.
I feel like I should let the good folks of the Ozarks know that I went to a Justin Bieber concert. I don't know, probably 20 years ago.
Is he 20 years old?
I don't know. It felt culturally relevant at the time.
Okay. Well,
that's why I did it.
Well, you win some, you lose some. And not everybody's going to hit a bullseye all the time. But I feel pretty good about the Stones. I feel pretty good about the Stones.
You know what? It was a great show. I was never a super fan, but some of I think it was in college, my college roommates were, and they were like, listen, if you want to be culturally astute, you need to, these are the things that you need to do. So there you go.
Well, they
whether you're a fan or not, aroundtheozarks.com, there's no reason not to enter.
Well, and there are just people all over the Ozarks kicking themselves because they passed up their great chance to see Justin Bieber in concert.
It's true. It's true.
So you don't want to miss
I still regret it.
miss that opportunity if a chance arises.
There you
All right,
go.
that'll do it for us. Thanks for watching on Father's Day. I told you I would report on Father's Day. I had a nice Father's Day.
Thanks. Thank you.
Sarah
I felt like I had something to do with that. So
you did.
You're welcome.
You did in part. You planned for us to go to a friend's house for a swim party, and they cooked up steaks, and it was a delight. I enjoyed it. I actually fell asleep on their outdoor couch for a little bit right before we left last night.
Ethan sleeps at get-togethers. I mean,
well, I just dozed off. But it was my Father's Day. Leave me alone. I can do what I want on Father's Day. But the steaks were great. The pool was great. The kids had a lot of fun. And they got me a it's like a rocking chair, but it's for the sidelines of games. It folds up and it goes in a bag.
I got it at Bass Pro. To be honest, I was really excited about it. When Ethan pulled that out of the bag, he was like, cool. I mean, it's really comfortable, but it's like really heavy.
Yeah, it's pretty good size.
I was like, okay.
It's a little more chair than I would carry to the sideline of a sporting event, just to be honest. But I will sit on it in the garage at home.
You can sit in like Bernie Sanders, where you like lean back like this. And,
I know, yeah. But the chairs I have rock, you know that, right?
Cup holder, yeah, but it's falling apart. Your current rocking chair is falling apart.
But I think it's under warranty. So I'm gonna do my best to get that fixed. Anyway, it was a very nice thought, and I'll sit in that rocking chair, maybe out with you, because our kids are at camp this week. So get this: we have tonight and tomorrow night and the next night, Sarah and I without children in our house, which is crazy.
Yeah,
it's been a long time.
I don't know what we're gonna do.
I don't either.
We'll stare at each other, watch the paint dry. I don't know. I don't even know.
Yeah.
I don't know how to act. I don't know.
It'd be like we're first dating again. I'd be very nervous.
We'll have to like come up with conversation that doesn't involve
driving the children somewhere,
soccer, logistics, practice.
Right.
I know.
I'm going to say what I normally do. What does my day look like tomorrow? What do I have to do for my part in these children that we've had?
Yeah.
And she'll tell me. But this week it's nothing. I got nothing to do.
Yeah. I mean, they're the best things on the planet. I'll tell you that much. But logistics.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness, people.
I could use a break.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a Father's Day gift.
I'm a professional chauffeur by this point.
Yeah. All right. So we'll let you know how Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday date nights go. So
have a good one. Thanks for joining us. Happy Monday, everybody.
Happy Monday.
It's time for Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather, sponsored by Scooters Coffee and Rescue Towing. Here's your host, meteorologist Abby Dyer.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to your Monday. It is June 17th, and we are in for another hot and humid day out there. Big kind of spoiler alert here. We're starting in the 70s. So when you start that warm, it's just going to be incredibly hot this afternoon. I have 91 for the forecasted high temperature with heat index values between 95 and 100 today. So if you enjoyed the weekend heat and humidity from the weekend, then you'll like today. And much like the weekend, once again, we have this opportunity for some isolated thunderstorm activity to develop today, really driven by the heat and humidity. Those hot and humid conditions really add to those thunderstorm chances, the pop-up type summer variety. Not severe weather necessarily, but heavy rainfall possible for a small time. Most stay dry in the forecast today, however. And I think we're all going to stay dry for the first half of the day. It's really after 2 p.m. that those thunderstorm chances begin to enter the forecast. Today, though, heat and humidity, kind of same old story. But today, the heat is lingering, and then we get a bit of a break in the forecast. I have numbers that are going to settle down a bit for Tuesday and Wednesday. Not by a lot, but we'll be back into the mid 80s at least, and the unsettled weather. Well, really today it's focused up in the northern plains and down on the Gulf Coast. That's where some of the severe activity is. We here in the Ozarks are just expecting some isolated activity, about a 20% chance for some of those pop-up showers and thunderstorms as we head through the course of the afternoon. So Highs in the low 90s again today. High temperatures are not going to mean much, though, when you factor in the heat index, because that adds about 5 to 10 degrees to the feels like temperature outside. Models indicating that heat index values today all around the Ozarks will be between 95 and 100. So we are now in this territory where we start talking about dangerous heat and remembering to stay safe, even if you're doing something to cool off. The pool. I mean, you still need to make sure you're drinking plenty of water, extra hydration, and you don't want to get exhausted in this type of heat. A lot of our outdoor workers are feeling it this time of the year. Just a good rule of thumb, drink a cup of cool water every 20 minutes. Even if you are not thirsty, that will really help prevent dehydration and allow you to keep the electrolytes up. Take regular breaks to rest during hot conditions. Skipping breaks, not safe, especially if you're an outdoor worker. And just seek breaks in the air conditioning. Spend time in the shade if you can. Avoid the direct sunlight. You know, it feels a lot hotter in the direct sun than even if you can catch some shade and get a bit of a breeze. Isolated afternoon thunderstorms are possible. If those do develop, that will cool the specific areas that get the showers down for just a brief period of time. And then the heat and humidity will kick back in once the storm passes. Heat will back off a little bit on Tuesday and Wednesday, but I'm looking at the long-term charts here. There's a big bubble of hot air that's going to be building out on the East Coast, and it will start to impact our weather pattern again by late in the week. So that heat and humidity will build back in, and we will once again be talking about these daily chances for showers and thunderstorms, really driven by our hot and humid air mass. Today, I have a high temperature of 91 in Springfield. It's not a whole lot better. Tomorrow, we're still at 87. Afternoon chance for showers and thunderstorms exist each and every day this week. We're still in the upper 80s on Wednesday. I think we're back to the 90s by Thursday and Friday, and it's looking like the heat will stick around with us for the weekend. Also, we never get much of a break overnight. Even our low temperatures will remain in the 60s and 70s. So we never cool off too much, and this is going to allow that heat to just linger and stick around. Headlines around the country, what you'll be hearing about in national news, multiple rounds of heavy rain and severe thunderstorms possible, as I mentioned, up in the northern plains. Upper Midwest is going to be impacted over the next couple of days. This is where the unsettled pattern will be existing. We also have some late season snowfall possible today and tomorrow, kind of a wacky situation out in the northern Rockies. They're getting some late June snow. It'll be a wet, heavy snow that melts quickly, but still snow nonetheless for our friends to the west. And then a heat wave for the plains and the Ohio Valley. This is what's really going to grip those national news headlines over the next week or so as that powerful ridge of high pressure strengthens and brings potentially some record heat to the Northeast. That should be impacting New England by the time we get to Tuesday. So you'll be hearing about hot and humid weather, not just for the Ozarks, but really for the eastern half of the country as we head into next week. All right, it's time for the Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather Brain Twister Trivia question, sponsored by Scooters Coffee, where every single day you could win $20 to Scooters. So why not play the game? All right, here's the question that I left you with on Friday. What branch of the U.S. Armed Forces used this slogan? It's not just a job, it's an adventure. And the options were A, the Army, B, the Marines, C, the Air Force, or D, the Navy. If you know this one, the answer was D. It was the Navy. They did not use this slogan too long. It was from 1976 to 1986. So a decade. The Navy used this slogan. It's not just a job, it's an adventure. This motto transformed into Live the Adventure in 1987, and they held that motto until 1988. It inspired several others that were in the same vein. Joining the Navy is not just simply putting on a uniform, but it is the beginning of a journey. If you're curious about the current slogan, it is America's Navy, forged by the sea. And it kind of has a little nod in there to the adventure that was referenced in the previous slogan, used again from 1976 to 1986. It's not just a job, it's an adventure. That would be D, the Navy. Congrats if that was your guess. Here's your next chance to win. All you have to do is enter at aroundtheozarks.com. It is free to do so, and you could be our next winner. By U.S. law, exit signs must be one of what two colors? A, green or red. B, white or red. C, green or white. Or D, green or black. By U.S. law, exit signs must be which one of these two colors? You can submit your guess. That's at aroundtheozarks.com. Also, check out the forecast while you're there. It is toasty this week in the Ozarks. It is summertime in full force, but we're getting to late June, so I guess that is appropriate. Thanks so much for listening to the podcast this morning and starting off your Monday with us. I hope to catch you again early tomorrow morning. Thanks to our sponsors, Scooters Coffee and Rescue Towing.